Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Psycho Gold, and today we're checking out the last death battle that I have to catch up on, and then that's that. Now, just in case anybody was wondering, I won't be doing All Might versus Might Guy, because as I've said in a previous video, but I can't remember where, I won't be watching that because Might Guy is obviously in Naruto, and I've not finished Naruto. Yes, I know the series is years and years old, but I didn't watch it back when it was on the first time around. So I'm not watching it just because I'm pretty confident it contains spoilers for Naruto, just like the Jiraiya versus Roshi video contained a pretty big spoiler for Naruto for his character, but it doesn't bother me like that. But I thought I'm not going to end up in a similar situation to knowing exactly what's going to happen to the character in the backstory, because it's not their fault I'm so far behind with it. So yeah, I'm skipping that one for now. Plus, I already know who won because it was an anime one. The whole of Twitter was tweeting about it when that one went up, so anyway. As for this fight, Sindel versus Black Canary, much like in my Miles versus Static video, my personal pick is Black Canary to win this. Despite being a big Mortal Kombat fan, I do not believe that Sindel has what it takes to take the Canary down. Sindel has always felt to me like Mortal Kombat's version of Canary, but, you know, evil. And, yeah, whether or not she's good or bad is something Mortal Kombat can never make up their minds on. In the most recent version of Sindel, they've decided that she's an evil queen, but in previous versions, she was very much forced into the position of being Shao Kahn's wife, and she only agreed to save her people, and she was still a good guy, just like her daughter, so I don't even know what to categorize her as anymore, because she seems to flip-flop all over the place. Consistency with her character is not something I would say happens a lot. Personally, I think it makes more sense for her to have ended up becoming a bad guy like Shao Kahn, and it makes her more interesting in my opinion, but it doesn't change the fact that most of her abilities I don't think are going to be enough to match up to Black Canary. That said, I do like the way that in the most recent versions, she almost seems to have like a Wraith or Banshee quality to her that she never had before, so there may be a few abilities that she can utilize to outmatch Black Canary. But considering Black Canary is one of, if not the best fighter in the DC universe in pure hand-to-hand combat, or at least that's how I remember her being portrayed, Sindel's got a lot of work cut out for her since, you know, Canary cry can easily match Sindel's scream. But, as per usual, we're gonna listen to the death battle and find out what the pick is gonna be just before the fight, and then we'll see who wins. So let's get into it. Here we go!
It's a trope we're all familiar with, the damsel in distress crying for help.
Yeah, Wiz, don't think that's the case here, because these two are the opposite. If you ever hear their cry, you're dead.
Black Canary, the blonde bare-knuckle brawler of DC Comics.
And Sindel, the literal scream queen from Mortal Kombat. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Oh, okay, they really are leading into the 2D battles
Behold,
more now.
The Justice Society of America, the first recorded team of superheroes in the DC universe.
And Stargirl's in it, not in a weird alternate dimension like she is over on the CW.
And among these men and gods stood a woman, the judo-chopping Black Canary.
Wait, why a canary? Canaries don't know judo? Or do they?
However, this is not the Black Canary we'll be focusing on today. See, the Black Canary of the Golden Age may have been a skilled crime fighter in her own right, but the one who made the moniker a household name was her daughter, Dinah Laurel Lance.
Dinah wanted to be a crime fighter just like her mom, so she trained with Wildcat, the furry boxer I mentioned earlier.
Her mother wasn't very happy about that, though. Young Dinah's career could have ended then and there, if not for the discovery of what she likes to call
singing for her band.
Cry.
That could have ended badly if that's when her powers decided to manifest.
Cases such as these weren't ordinary, but well explained. See, Dinah possessed the meta gene, a dormant slice of genetic code present in about 12% of humanity, granting superhuman abilities.
Yeah, Wizard did it. With her new power and martial arts training, Dinah took up her mother's mantle and became Black Canary, the second one. Is it weird that her mom was also named Dinah? They're really forming a dynasty.
Fun fact, originally she disguised herself by donning a blonde wig, but eventually just dyed it permanently.
Blonde? Don't you mean yellow?
Regardless, the Canary cry is no joke. By emitting focused ultrasonic sound, Dinah can annihilate the eardrums of anyone nearby.
Or just ramp up the volume and blow people away with shockwaves.
I was gonna say, her scream is stupidly
It's quite versatile,
powerful.
too. She can focus her cries into small sonic
I
projectiles.
did recognize
or
one of the
broaden
Black
them
Canary
to the
animated
entire
shots
city.
a second
And
ago.
by screaming hard enough at
We're gonna have to
ground,
look this
she
up
can
afterwards.
friggin' fly. How the hell does that shit work?
Let's dig into this for a bit. For a sound wave to become a shock wave, it must possess an intensity of at least 194 decibels. For reference, Black Canary's highest recorded scream clocks in at over 300 decibels.
That's the same level of bulls as a volcano erupting.
All that power comes with a fairly obvious weakness, though. If her throat is damaged, she'll be unable to produce the cry.
That's why she's got some nifty ultrasonic canary bombs that do the super shit
Canary
for her.
bombs.
Not to say she's useless without her superpower.
Oh yeah, there's all of
She's
her
one
different
of
martial
Cosmic's
arts.
greatest ass kickers.
Thanks to Wildcat and her mother, Dinah has trained in jujitsu, karate, Krav Maga, capoeira, and many, many more
I was gonna say, you're gonna list them all.
She knows holds that can put you to sleep, a punch that can detonate your heart, and even how to cause instant death by pushing a single nerve cluster.
She's basically the furious, blood-soaked love child of Kenshiro and the bride from Kill Bill. Also, before we go on, all this kung fu talk makes me want to see a judo canary in action. And what better opponent than our very own Mecha Goose Howard?
Mecha Goose Howard.
So, turns out they don't know judo. Where was the heads up on that one, Wiz?
Even with all that,
Even if they
Dinah's
did,
greatest
what's it gonna
strength
do
is
to a
perhaps her
Mecha Goose with
uncanny ability
lasers?
To learn and adapt mid-fight. It's what makes her such a great sparring partner to superhuman martial arts masters like Wonder Woman. It was during a fight with her, in fact, that Black Canary claimed she could perceive time down to the nanosecond.
Sounds crazy, right? But believe it, how else could she keep up with someone like Wonder Woman? Or how about the time she battled these red tornado androids? Green Lantern was using his power ring to
Yeah,
scan
see,
for weaknesses,
I'm glad they're
but
addressing
Dinah
all
said,
this, because
"F
I've
that,"
never
and stabbed it 100
quite
times
understood
super fast.
how she's always
She
able
found
to
its
keep
literal
pace with
Achilles heel
the
before
super
power
people
ring finished
that she
scanning.
trains
Right, she
or spars
outsped
with.
an alien supercomputer. Keep in mind, Dinah does not technically possess superhuman speed or strength.
Technically.
I wouldn't be surprised if she secretly drank some super soldier serum at some point, because she can outmuscle superhumans and
yeah.
smash steel like it's
I like what
flimsy
that
wood.
it says in the
Given
top right
yield
there.
strength of steel and the size of her elbow,
In her
Dinah
world,
must
it's
have
not
exerted a
superhuman,
force
but
of
in
around
ours.
27 tons.
The gal survived a fall into the ocean from 1,000 feet, and even her own canary cry.
It's no different than if you had someone like
It
James
helps that she has a
Bond,
special membrane
you
in
know,
her ears that protects her
constantly
from
doing
shockwaves.
things that in reality would never actually work for you, so...
For a murder-happy android with the combined powers of the entire Justice League, he sure could have packed some aspirin.
She may be stubborn and hot-headed, but with her powers and training fine-tuned, Dinah proved her mom wasn't the only Black Canary to be reckoned with. She even teamed up with groups such as the infamous Birds of Prey, and at one point took charge of the
that's the
Justice
Birds of Prey,
League,
is
the
it?
spiritual
I
successor to
wouldn't
the
know.
original
The ones that
Justice
they've
Society.
put on the cinema
Their
recently
main
looks
man,
nothing like
Green
that.
Arrow. They
Oh,
spent a
that's
lot of
interesting.
time sticking arrows in that quiver, if you know what I mean. They did sex.
Long story
Thank you,
short,
Boomstick.
Black Canary is without a doubt one of the most badass women in comic book history.
Using a NetherRealm game there to end it,
Realm
whilst moving
of
into
Idea was
the
a paradise,
original games from
a
NetherRealm.
Garden of Eden, if you will.
You said that like it was supposed to be clever.
Under the rule of King Jared and Queen Sindel, the realm prospered for millennia, until the arrival of Outworld conqueror Shao Kahn and the tournament of Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat!
By decree of the Elder Gods, an invading force from another realm must defeat the defending world 10 consecutive times in a tournament to the death.
Unfortunately for Adenia, Khan dabbed on their asses and won Adenia for himself.
To legitimize his rule, Kahn murdered Jared, married Sindel, and adopted her daughter Katana as his own. Excessive? Probably.
Needless to say, Cindy
Ah,
wasn't too happy
was
about
a
all
hero
that,
before
but it
time
turns
reset.
out she was
Okay.
a kung fu sorcerer.
So,
to avenge her
which
kingdom,
version are we
she
getting?
underwent a mystic ritual where she offed herself to protect Khan's next target, Earthrealm. And it worked.
For a time. After 10,000 years of hopelessly failing to take the Earth, Khan learned how to undo her protective ward. Sindel was resurrected, brainwashed, and transformed into a fierce queen of dark magic and terror.
She was back and ready to slay, and holy shit did she!
Sindel's Edenian physiology gives her superhuman strength, speed, and durability, allowing her to make mincemeat of Mortal Kombat's regular combatants.
You better have said that with a K.
And despite being dead for the past 10,000 years, she's somehow a master of 2 forms of Chinese Kung Fu. Zhaoquan
don't question that. Most combatants in Mortal Kombat are masters of Earthrealm martial arts, yet they're supposed to be from other dimensions.
Sindel also wields a Quan Do. It's a glaive designed for long-range deflection and carving people up like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Though she hardly needs a weapon when she already has one. Her hair. She can command it to stretch like a tentacle, constrict a
Yeah,
opponent,
see, I
and
was
act
wondering whether or not the
essentially
hair
as an
might
extra prehensile
give her a
tail.
bit of an
That
advantage
guy with
against
that's,
Canary.
Kinda hot.
Oh, would you still think so if she used it to spin you like a top fast enough to obliterate your body?
What a way to go.
Okay, well, all that pales in comparison to her signature ability, the Banshee Scream. This ultrasonic shout is powerful enough to detonate heads, split limbs, and rend flesh. Her screaming power can even be focused into mystical fireballs of destruction called Star Screamers.
Oh, like that Transformer that we had that pony eat his soul.
No. Sindel once screamed with enough force to annihilate a large part of a canyon. This resembles the
Please,
effects of a magnitude
do not,
5.0
on
earthquake,
any stretch of this
comparable to
imagination,
nearly
bring Mortal
500
Kombat
tons of
Annihilation
TNT
into this.
exploding all at once.
You cannot
Power like
possibly
that, it's
use
no wonder
that
she was
as
able to
any
run through her
form
life
of canon.
heroes, which
That is
include
a crime
Well,
against cinnamon.
Pluto.
Never mind
Well,
a false source of information for Mortal
Most of the
Kombat.
series combatants can shatter a block of pure diamond
Oh.
with just their hand. A feat like this would require a pressure of at least 60 gigapascals. That's over 4,300 tons of force per square inch.
And Cabal.
Who was fast enough to swat machine gun fire out of the air, like the flies in Boomstick's bathroom.
Accurate.
Judging by the likely muzzle velocity and rate of fire, Cabal must have been reacting within 600ths of a second in order to consistently parry these bullets.
And he blocked a bunch of them back to back to back. Too bad Sindel wound up getting blown up and brainwashed all over again. Man, this chick can't catch a break, though the zombie MILF thing's kinda working for her.
Well, that's only one possible timeline. In the original story, she was actually freed from Shao Kahn and regained control of Edenia. In another, it seems the killing of her royal husband was actually her plan all along.
Either way, we're talking about Mortal Kombat. They all die eventually. But compared to the Queen,
they all come back.
everyone else might as well have been silent.
Yeah, so it's really difficult to know
All right,
exactly
the combatants are
how
set, and we've run the
powerful
data through
Sindel
all
is, in my
possibilities.
opinion.
But first, we'll tell you about hymns.
Tell you about what?
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored
Holy
by
hell,
Him.
it's not Blue Apron.
There's a company
I'm
out
still gonna
there
skip
to
it
help
anyway,
you
but
look
it's
your
not Blue
best
Apron.
Every day. Hymns.
Did you know that 66...
It's time for a death battle!
Oh, I just suddenly realized I didn't actually give my pick. I don't know. They seem to factor in a lot of stuff for Sindel that I would have categorically stated shouldn't be counted. So... Sindel is very, very powerful, and like they said, she got a big power boost thanks to her resurrection and then second resurrection and then complete change of her character. But I feel like it's a bit mean to count fatalities, test your might minigames and stuff like that as things that are feats when they've never actually done those sorts of feats in the storyline cutscenes that they've started doing when all of the canons sort of rolled into one. But I'm not saying she can't do those things or that the characters can't do things like that, as they have shown that they're more than powerful enough to be that strong and skillful and fast, etc., etc. My only issue is fatalities don't tend to take logic into account. It's just what's the most entertaining. So that idea that she can scream into her hands to make a little bomb, it's amusing as a fatality. I don't know exactly if there's any real logic behind that, and I mean Mortal Kombat logic, not like real world logic, because obviously all of Mortal Kombat would fall apart with logic. But, yeah, I don't know. Sindel's just never seemed that particularly strong to me, apart from in MK9, where they just decided that she could take out the entirety of the Defenders of Earthrealm without even breaking a sweat, which was very irritating when I first played that game. Black Canary, in my opinion, still is as strong as Sindel, at least in terms of her ability to scream. The fact that she hasn't rended flesh from bone or shattered skulls, despite the fact she said that she can in the very comic that they highlighted, has come down to the fact that it's not a property aimed at an 18+ audience. So, this is tough. I still want to stick with Black Canary, so I'm going to, but I got a horrible feeling Sindel might win this. Either way, let's get down to it.
Talk about Scooby-Doo meets Fight Club.
What in God's name is up with those sprites? The hair literally looks like it was stapled onto somebody else. Canary looks good though. I like the voice actress. Oh yeah, definitely picked good music for this. Or should I say composed good music for this. Yeah, there's that hair advantage. Oh, X-ray move!
Are you hurt, child? Let me sing you a lullaby.
I was gonna say, that was over dramatically quick if that was it.
Fell asleep.
Oh, it's a beam battle, but with sound waves. Yeah, that's what I thought. Canary more than wins on screaming. Yeah, she ain't done yet.
Insufferable creature, we fight to the death.
Okay, I'm glad she didn't get hampered with an X-ray move, because again, in MK, you get killed essentially just for doing a big super move, and then you get up like nothing happened, so... it's a bit of an unfair comparison.
Pretty bird with such an ugly song. Tell me, can you fly?
Uh-oh. I think this could be it for Canary. Wait. Oh yeah, the bombs! I forgot about them! And she can fly too with her scream. Okay, come on! I believe in you, Dina. Wait, what? Is that it?
Fatality.
KO!
Looks like Sindel's head is blasting up again! Or, well, for the first time technically, so I tried to work it in, guys.
This battle was a curious one. For the most part, Sindel's physical strength, projectiles, and aerial maneuverability let her keep up with the bird of prey.
Yeah, she was 160 times stronger, but Canary's made a living off fighting superhumans who are even stronger than that, like Mammoth and Giganta, so I guess that wasn't that big of an advantage, really.
Comparing Cabal's bullet timing to her nanosecond reaction, Dinah's reaction speed was easily 60 million times faster, and with her wide array of martial arts abilities, she certainly capitalized on this.
Sure, Sindel had some awesome moves, but sadly, stepping on people like a hot dominatrix doesn't quite stack up when Black Canary mastered way more fighting styles. Plus, she's been training all her life. Adenia was super peaceful before Shao Kahn came along, so
Yeah.
I doubt Sindel was taking names and kicking ass all before that.
But let's move on to the comparison everyone wants to know. Which was deadlier, the Banshee Scream or the Canary Cry? We know Dinah's cry could reach 300 decibels. In comparison, the results of Sindel's most powerful scream are similar to a 5.0 earthquake, which is equivalent to only
Stop showing that
235
abomination of a
I
film.
know what you're thinking. That's a difference
It doesn't
of only
count.
65
And even if it
decibels.
did,
That
nobody
can't
wants to
go.
see
That's
it.
wrong. It's totally
Don't need
different
the
'cause
flashbacks,
decibels
man.
are freaking weird.
See, decibels are not like meters or minutes, which scale geometrically. Instead, decibels scale logarithmically. For every 10 decibels a sound is, its intensity increases 10-fold. So 30 decibels is 10 times greater than 20 decibels, 40 is 10 times greater than 30, and so on.
So, every increase multiplies the sound instead of just adding to it. Wait a minute, that means the Canary Cry would be...
About 1,000,000 times stronger than the Banshee Scream, nearly 500 megatons of TNT.
awesome.
The closest
Yep.
real-life comparison we can make is the Krakatoa eruption of 1883. A volcano blast so powerful it could be heard over 3,000
Oh, now I'm very
miles
curious as to,
away. Not so different from what
does that mean
Dinah
that loads of
Hudson
people
would
thought
be
that
capable of.
Sindel would win?
It also
I'm very
doesn't hurt
surprised
that
about
Canary had
that.
those special membranes in her ears to guard against
But then,
Sindel's
you know,
scream.
if the
In
Black
the end,
Canary that's in
Canary
the
had
current
the
Birds of
speed,
Prey
skill,
film
and
is what
raw
people
decibels to
think that the
finish
Black
her.
Canary is,
It
then
was Sindel's
I can see why
time
people
to
would think the Black
Dinah.
Canary wouldn't be powerful
What,
enough
no pun
to
about screams?
stand against
Well,
Sindel,
I
never
was
mind beat
gonna,
her.
but I thought a pun that obvious wouldn't be allowed.
The winner is Black Canary.
And again, we already know who's next. In fact, I'm pretty confident I saw this when it was announced. Oh, there's that epic music. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was Sindel versus Black Canary, and as I suspected from the word go, the Black Canary absolutely crushed Sindel. I'm guessing a lot of people thought that Sindel would win, since people don't seem happy with this particular one, but I don't know. I never thought Sindel was that particularly powerful in Mortal Kombat, and like I say, if you were to ignore the feats that she's had in recent games, and the one that they kept showing despite my PTSD of that awful film, she doesn't really have anything worth writing home about. Yes, she's got some stretchy hair, cool. Have you seen some of the crazy stuff that Dina's had to fight against in the DC comics? And, well, even including the DC animated show, to be honest. I mean, as they actually said, not only has she sparred against and beat Wonder Woman in a friendly match, she's had to go up against Wonder Woman in a toe-to-toe fight to the death. And although I wouldn't say that she won, just surviving that fight is quite an impressive feat when you can remember how OP Wonder Woman is. As for the fight itself, I thought the music was great, the two actresses were really good. I really liked whoever they picked to play Black Canary. She had the attitude down for me, and it just kind of reaffirms that I'd really like to see, you know, a solo film for Black Canary, or a solo series, or heaven forbid a film based on the Birds of Prey with those really cool characters with them as the main focal point, and a story that shows just how ridiculously powerful they actually are in their own right. But I don't think we'll ever see a film like that, because that would just be asking too much in my opinion. But, you know, that fantasy aside, I also really like the 2D sprites, which surprised me, because although I expected this one to be 2D, the artists and the animators are doing a really good job of actually making me really like the 2D battles. And it's not that I've never liked the 2D battles, there's actually some really good ones out there. But after you've seen some of the fully 3D rendered death battles, whenever it does go back to 2D animation, it always kind of feels like, so you didn't really think enough of this one to justify getting the 3D out, did you? You know what I mean? It always kind of feels like it's like, this is the cheap one to tide you over until the real one that they're actually thinking will get good views comes in. But actually, I think Deadpool vs. The Mask and this one, Miles and Leo vs. Jason, all of them have actually kind of proven that the 2D animations can be just as good as the 3D animations, if not better in some cases. Someone told me that the next death battle, which is going to be Genos and War Machine, is going to be completely hand-drawn, which will be very interesting if that does indeed turn out to be the case. And hats off to the animator if it is one person doing these 2D fights, or, you know, a couple of people, a team that is consistently doing all these battles. This is how you do good 2D fights, and the camera work makes it feel 3D at times. I love the way that they just do whatever it is that they need to make the shot work and not be limited in scope by just having some basic 2D sprites. It could easily just be a left and right battle like the old death battles were, like other series or fan-made content is, but the way that they do their camera work, their lighting, and the effects especially, even though it is 2D, it has that trick of making you think, actually, is there some 3D to this? And sometimes there is, in fairness, but it just goes to show how good you can actually make these fights, even though you are looking at sometimes very, very pixelated sprites. That's my only complaint with the sprite battles, is I don't think many people are watching these on small screens, and on big screens they look very, very pixelated, or at least they do to me. And whilst that doesn't bother me because, you know, I grew up in gaming on the old Sega Mega Drive, so to me it's nostalgic, but yeah, I still like the 3D battles. Either way, that's going to be it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to go and check out the original, leave a like if you like this one, and I will see you in my next one, whenever and whatever that may be. But until such a time, guys, this is PsychoGoat signing out. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.